Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today it's time for another video on what's blooming in my Waterwise garden. Now I live in Utah, zone 6/7, and it is the end of June, beginning of July, and I would love to show you what bloomed in my yard in June. Now before we get into it and show you what is blooming right now in my yard, let's show you a little bit of what you missed. Now the sun's a little bit harsh, and this is the south side of my property, but I wanted to show you what is blooming right now on this side. Now we have a lot of things that you did miss. One thing that you didn't miss are these gorgeous trumpet lilies. Now they were knocked over in a windstorm, and I think next year I'll probably need to stake them. They were about 6 to 7 feet tall, really, really tall flowers, but they are absolutely gorgeous and smell wonderful. Another thing that's been consistently blooming are my wee one lavenders. I absolutely love this kind of lavender. Stays tiny, blooms for a long period of time, and it smells good. Now this right here is my Pugster blue butterfly bush. It's just about ready to start blooming, and it is a really beautiful blue color. Has a gorgeous scent, and the bushes stay about 3 feet tall and wide. Now I did prune these back last fall. I think I pruned them back to about 1 foot tall, and this is how tall they've grown back. They've grown back really bushy and gorgeous. I think another plant that I've never really showcased very often is this stonecrop. Not exactly sure what kind it is. I got it off a garden tour. I commented on how beautiful I thought it was in somebody's yard, and they just pulled off a branch, gave it to me, I planted it, and it grew. And I've been doing that all around my yard. So this is a stonecrop, which is a kind of sedum. I have my little alyssums that have reseeded themselves all over. Usually when I purchase them, I purchase the dark purple ones, but they always reseed to the white color, which is fine because I think the white is gorgeous. Another one of my favorite flowers that we have blooming is this St. John's wort. Now I will put the name of it on screen because I don't remember it, but it's got these gorgeous little buds and yellow flowers and seeds. The seed pods stay red, then you've got the yellow flowers, and it's absolutely gorgeous plant. This right here is another one of my favorites. This is the platinum sage. Gorgeous blue flowers, and it's been blooming for a good probably 8 weeks now. And next to it, a little washed out, is my orange pine leaf penstemon with a weed growing in there. It just likes to blend in. But the pine leaf penstemons are very drought tolerant. They're coming to the end of their first bloom. If I cut them back, they will bloom again. We've got sundancer daisies. And I'll show you a few more on a bigger plant in a little bit, but they are absolutely gorgeous. And it's time for the moonshine yarrow to shine. Moonshine yarrow is absolutely gorgeous, blooms for a long time, and the flowers stay on the plant without fading. So they are absolutely gorgeous. And the very, very first bloom is happening on my chase tree. This will bloom till the end of the year. Oh, let's look over here, there's more. So here's the first blooms on my chase tree. And it will bloom actually until probably October, until the frost kills it. But the blooms are this gorgeous blue color, and the butterflies absolutely love them. Some more down here. And then just below it is another butterfly bush. This is a Pugster amethyst. The other one that I showed you was Pugster blue. And they just have big, kind of like ice cream cone size flowers. Absolutely gorgeous color, and they smell amazing, and they stay small. The Pugster amethyst stays a little bit smaller than the Pugster blue. We're at the very, very end of these lilies. We have some more lilies on the other side that I'll show you, but the lilies are looking great. And the very first blooms on my strawberry Sunday panicle hydrangea. It's a little chlorotic, and I'm not quite sure how to handle this because I have been putting iron on it. I put iron on in the fall and in the spring, and then sometimes in the summer if it needs it, and it just seems to need more. They're not doing very well in this spot. This catmint is ready to cut back, but it still looks gorgeous. We've still got blooms on it. We've got a new crop of fresh blooms coming in down there, but it's really hard to want to cut it back because it's just so gorgeous and the bees love it. My Angelina sedum did bloom, as did this hens and chicks. Look at the blooms on these. They are so gorgeous. See if we can get them in focus. There, maybe we've got them in focus right there. Absolutely gorgeous. Here's some more of my sundancer daisies, and we've got my Munstead lavender blooming. The Munstead lavender is gorgeous, and you can tell that the honeybees just love it. Don't know if you can see the bees buzzing around it. It's in the evening, and a lot of the bees and the pollinators have gone home, but there's still quite a few of them. We've got the very, very first blooms on my Zauschneria, or hummingbird trumpet. It's going to be full and gorgeous when it's in full bloom. It's one of my favorite drought-tolerant plants. But this area is filled out, and even if there's not a lot of bloom, I love all the texture and color in it. The color down here is partridge feather. Extremely drought tolerant. Matter of fact, it cannot tolerate extra water at all, so it needs to stay quite dry. It's been doing okay, even though I water the strawberries around it. I hand water the strawberries 3 times a week, but I keep the water away from the partridge feather, and it seems to be doing just fine. We've got my mountain mist pom-pom dianthus. Absolutely gorgeous little bloom, and it blooms for a very long period of time. Another sundancer daisy, and another color combination that I love. That's the purple sedums, the tall purple sedums. We've got the icy blue of the fescue, and then we've got the variegation from the thyme. This is a Foxley thyme. And next to that, we've got the yellow of the Angelina thyme. Absolutely gorgeous. Now this area is where all the flowers seem to be concentrated. We've got another large catmint that needs to be cut back. It's the Walker's Low, and I love the combination of that color with the white lilies. The orange lilies up here are starting to be done. They're, kind of mid-cycle actually. But behind it, we've got another fun flower. These are my pomegranate flowers. So far, I'm not seeing any female flowers that are going to turn into fruit, although this one has more of a likelihood than that one that just fell off. Let's see if we can show you the difference. So this one is swollen a little bit right here. So maybe I could pull one off and show you side by side. So this one may be a female. This is a male for sure. And only the females form fruit. So this is a Slovatsky pomegranate. Hasn't fruited yet, but we are getting the gorgeous flowers. Got a volunteer calendula that just keeps going. All the poor little Johnny jump ups, it's just way too hot for them, and they're starting to die back. This is another one of the pine leaf penstemons in an orange color that you can see a little bit better in this light. We'll be cutting that back shortly to get a second bloom. And here's another one that's a little more full. Absolutely gorgeous. This is a moonshine yarrow, blooms prolifically right next to a Munstead lavender that is glorious. We've got one of our little butterfly weeds. This is the one that has the orange flowers. And this over here has pink and white flowers. When they first open up, they seem a little pink, and then they turn white. And then we can see that tiny little butterfly there. I don't even know what kind that is, but they are definitely appreciating the butterfly weed. Still haven't seen any monarchs, but let me show you. Because I have all my butterfly weed and flowering plants, this is another one. That's a showy butterfly weed right over there. Let's show you what I got. I am now an official Monarch waystation, which means that I have plants that help support the life cycle of monarch butterflies. Now, I've only seen one so far this year. I usually see them a little bit later, and it's when my chase tree flowers heavily that they start showing up in droves. They love the chase tree. And this is our native showy milkweed, one of my nemesis plants, but I decided to let it grow so I could be a Monarch waystation. They grow by runner, they grow by seed, and once you have them, you're never getting rid of them. They will just completely take over an area. So I've been pulling them out of all the areas that I don't want regularly. Weekly I go through and find them and just yank them out. But they bloomed a little bit earlier. Not seeing any, like I said, I haven't seen any butterflies, so I'm not seeing any eggs on them yet. But I'm hoping eventually I will get monarch butterfly eggs on here. And we've got several things that are just starting their bloom cycle. We've got our little black-eyed Susan there. Over here we've got our purple coneflower. This is the time of year for them to bloom. And we've got a lot of buds coming. This is just their very first flush of bloom. This is a different kind of lily. This is the lily I've had the longest, and I love the little freckling inside of it. They're a really gorgeous lily. They're just a little bit behind my clear orange lilies. You can see a few more down there. Got more of the sweet alyssum, more of the pine leaf penstemon, and then we've got some repeat flowers over here. We've got our sundancer daisies, we've got the purple coneflower. This is the purple alyssum that I love so much, that I just planted on purpose. And we've still got cute little Johnny jump-ups that are trying really hard to keep going despite the heat. Another one that's blooming that I really love is the germander. So this is an evergreen perennial here in our area. It's hardy, I think, to zones 6 or 7, so it's not completely hardy, but it does give these gorgeous little flowers, and they flower for a long time. But I've been loving them. They've done quite well here. So in these tours, I normally don't take you in my backyard because there's usually not a ton of flowers flowering, but I've got to show you a few more. This right here is an endless summer hydrangea. I threw a little bit of aluminum sulfate around it to see what would happen, and we've got varying colors of blue. Some of the flowers are even partially blue and partially pink. So I think it just depends on where the roots have picked up the aluminum sulfate. That's where they've turned blue. Let me show you one that had a lot less aluminum sulfate, if any. I don't think I actually threw any on there, even though some of the flowers are semi-blue. So this is the normal color here in Utah. It's alkaline soil, so it does stay very, very pink. But over here, we do have a few with a little bit of a lavender color to it. This one's almost blue. So it is quite gorgeous. I absolutely love these hydrangeas. They grow well here in Utah, as long as you give them the right conditions. This is an everbearing variety that does bloom on new wood, so it doesn't matter if they freeze over the winter. What it does matter though is if they freeze in the spring. So once they start leafing out, if you get a frost coming, you need to cover them, otherwise you'll lose most of your flowers for the rest of the year. They do get a little bit chlorotic. You can see a little chlorosis right there. That's where the veins are green. So I put I put EDDHA iron, the chelated iron, on these in the spring and in the fall, and that seems to be perfect for them. They need a lot of water. This area gets watered with my vegetable gardens, that's attached to the same zone. So it gets watered 3 times a week, and it's here on the north side, so it gets morning sun and afternoon shade. And those are the conditions that they absolutely thrive in, plus a heavy mulch. I mulch mine with wood chips. So we have our hydrangeas. Then on the opposite end of drought tolerance are my gorgeous yarrows. Now I just did a plant of the week video, and I did it on yarrow, so I'll link that up above so you can see all the information I have about yarrow. But they are absolutely gorgeous. So this is just one. They start out one color and fade to another. That one's called terracotta. This is paprika red, so it starts a bright red, fades to kind of a pinkish color, and then fades to white. This is peach flambe. It's this gorgeous peach color, fades to yellow. This one's at an end of its bloom cycle, so you don't see the actual pink, although there is a couple down here that have the more pink color. This is part, I think, of the Summer Pastels series. And they fade to white once they're done. Start pink and fade to white. I think this one's called Summer Sunset, and look how gorgeous this is. This is a new one for me. Absolutely gorgeous. So Yarrow, including the Moonshine Yarrow, the giant one back there, is absolutely gorgeous. So thank you for coming along the tour with me on what's blooming on my Waterwise landscape today, and I really hope you enjoyed it. And I would love to hear what bloomed in your gardens in June and what's blooming in July and what are your favorite ones. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. If it has been helpful, I hope you like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and go have a wonderful garden adventure.